Happy Thanksgiving. This is our turkey roulade video. We got some whole turkeys, head on, beautiful pasture raised local turkeys from our friends at Countryside Farms. Go check out that pretty recent YouTube video we posted. Here I am removing the neck and head. I took the whole neck off and skinned it so I could make a small batch, very small batch of turkey neck sausages. Those are really good. Maybe we'll do another video about those sometimes, but here I am deboning this turkey. We are going to be taking the wings off and saving those, and then I'm actually going to start taking all of the skin and meat from the carcass of this turkey. I'm going up the back of it because I wanted to keep the breasts in the middle. I did not want to have the breasts on either side of the full thing splayed out. I wanted them to be in the middle. So I'm just starting on one side, pulling away all of the muscle and meat from the carcass, from the bones. Kind of had to go around the thigh joint here, disconnect that, get the whole thigh out, the whole kind of like back shoulder off of the back of the carcass. And here I am coming in kind of from the back of the breast and then up the side of the keel bone. And as soon as I finish essentially doing the whole half, then I will turn it over like that and start the breast from the other side. And I'm eventually going to turn this over and start to kind of come back from the other side of the carcass as well. I did break down a few of these and I did them in a couple different ways and just kind of had to figure out which was the best way for me. I broke a few of them down and then I filmed the last one actually just so I knew what I was doing. Here I am coming in from the other side. I think that's kind of what I figured out was best, is go like 3/4 and then turn it back over for the last quarter. After this, I'm going to use those bones and carcasses for stock and demi-glace and stuff like that. Taking off the legs here, skinning those, making a little complete circle incision around the very end, and then skinning those, trying to make sure not to tear the skin as I'm taking those legs out. And do the same thing to the other side. Take out the thigh bone first, make sure the entire joint, hip joint, is out of there. I don't want any bones or cartilage left behind in this because I want everything to be sliceable, everything to be edible on the final sliced roulade. Alright, both legs are out, everything is kind of splayed out. From here, I am going to pound this turkey a little bit. Pound it! Put some plastic over, couple layers of plastic wrap over each muscle and just pound it out a little bit. The thighs are going to tenderize a little bit and the breasts are going to flatten out a little bit, and it's just going to make the entire thing easier to roll up into a little roulade. You can already see like how much flatter the thighs and the breasts are, how much easier it is going to be to work this thing. So fold it back up like a book, try to fold it a few different ways, put that thing away. And it's on to making the stuffing. First thing I'm going to do is melt a bunch of butter, go in with some onions, some garlic, and some mushrooms. Going to cook all that stuff down till it smells good. I think I put a little bit of white wine in there too. Here I've got some dried sourdough, parsley, and some black garlic. This is just fermented garlic. We didn't ferment it ourselves, we just bought some black garlic. Really tasty, sweet, rich. It's going to complement everything. Some cubed up foie gras. This is frozen. We're going to add it frozen because we're going to add these hot mushrooms to the mix right now. Mushrooms and onions with the dried bread, some Parmesan cheese, a couple quarts of stock, and then we're going to mix this up really well. And after it is really nice and mixed up and most of the bread is nice and hydrated, we're just going to go ahead and add that frozen foie gras. Get it all nice and mixed through. Breaking up little pieces of bread here. It's time to stuff our turkeys. We did this as a way to kind of get some more value out of these turkeys. These turkeys were pretty expensive because we got them from a local farm. We didn't know exactly how expensive they were going to be till he had already dropped them off and left the invoice. So we really wanted to increase the value here, make them easier to eat, make them a little easier to kind of buy in bulk. We sold these as a whole piece for Christmas dinner. I bought one for Christmas dinner. And this is kind of a pretty traditional butcher's tying. I don't know exactly what it's called, but making a loop, tightening it. And this is really just to kind of keep everything together, because we're going to wrap this up in plastic wrap the way that they kind of do a torchon. Like this, making sure it's nice and tight, all cylindrical. And from there, poke a few holes. Gonna throw it in a zip bag, not a zip bag, vacuum bag. Vacuum seal that sucker. And from there it's gonna go into sous vide. I think it was 8 hours at 153. I did not want to overcook the foie gras and have it completely leach out all the fat. So I did a lower temperature for a longer time. After it's fully cooked and cooled, we did a light smoke on them, and then they were ready to take home. This is after the second smoke at the food truck. I did this direct to kind of crisp up the skin, threw a little sprig of rosemary in there. And we sliced these up at the truck a couple days and then sold them whole. One of the first people in line bought a couple pounds. He's going to get a bunch of breast meat and then about half of this entire thing. This was kind of a pain in the butt to take all the skins off, but looks like there's not a lot of stuffing in there, but there is definitely some, as you can see. Gave him a few extra pieces and chunks. Here's old G-Man cutting up a few pieces of that same roll just toward the end. You can see the nice breast on one side, thigh on the other. And it's got all that beautiful stuffing in there. Sourdough, black garlic, foie gras, mushrooms. It was very tasty. And a perfect little holiday meal. See you next year, folks. Happy Thanksgiving.